What is up, YouTube? How's it going? How's it going, everybody? Good morning. It's a beautiful day. And man, yesterday I was recording the vlog, or started to, and I never got to finish it because it was one of those days where everything that could go wrong happened, but it bounced back and it ended up being a really great day. Except towards the end, it was a little weird, but I'll get into that in a minute. But it happens. Those days happen, and you can't control them. But I'm glad yesterday ended up being a really good day. Had really good moments, and I'm gonna talk about it in here in a minute. All right, guys. So back in the car, but let me explain what happened yesterday. Woke up in a very cheerful mood because I was like, man, today's gonna be a great day. Today everything's gonna be good, because yesterday I thought, like a lot of other people probably did, but yesterday I was going to the Dallas courthouse, to go donate some stuff, a blanket and a pack of socks. And if you did that, then what would happen is the Dallas County, or Dallas, city of Dallas, whatever, would, remove up to 6 citations, meaning speeding tickets, other forms of tickets, stuff that was like related to classy misdemeanors towards your driver's license, right? And I'm not gonna lie, your boy's not perfect. Your boy is far from it. I don't have like the best driving record. In fact, right now I have no license and I'm still driving, but I got to get to work on all that, right? Like, what are they gonna do? Give me another ticket? But if I were to be honest, I do got like 7 tickets, 8 tickets, something like that, across Dallas County. So yesterday I went, but at first they were like, you can do the donations and a judge will be there at these locations. So I went to the first location that was closer to my home, and then they said, hey, it's not going to be like, I noticed when I got there nobody was there. I was like, oh, okay, it's the time they said, no one's here. But that's how the city of Dallas is. Sometimes that's how any city is. They tell you time and that probably doesn't start at that time. So I waited a little bit. I got tired of waiting. I didn't see no movement at all, like in the parking lots or nothing. So I went to a second location that was like maybe 5-10 minutes from the first one, to go see if that's where they were at. And of course, I got there, I saw nobody, but I did go into the place that they told me, or that I found, and I talked to somebody and they said, hey, they moved the locations, the flyer's right here. So they gave me a flyer, and all they did was just cancel all the other locations and just moved it to the courthouse. So mind you, I got up early because this thing started at 8 and it was over at 12. And by the time I got to the second location, or I was heading to the second location, it was probably about 8:45, almost 9 o'clock. And I was like, okay, well, let me head over to the courthouse. Let me go do this. Along the way to the courthouse, I got a flat tire. I was like, oh man, like really? Like, this is not good. I got a flat tire on the way to the courthouse. And man, I was upset. I was frustrated because, in the morning I'd already gone to 2 locations. And on the way there, got a flat tire. In the back of my mind, I'm like, God, are you trying to tell me something here? Is something up? Like, what's going on? Like, come on, man. Like, what's the deal? Today's supposed to be a good day. I'm supposed to be fixing all this stuff, and I'm supposed to be walking away with my license, man. I'm supposed to be walking away, having my driver's license again. So I got the flat tire. I ended up, I was with my mother and my sister-in-law because my sister-in-law wanted to do the same thing. But we got the flat, and I don't have a really good jack in my car. But so I had to but I tried, and I couldn't get the car, to move up or jacked up, and I ended up having to call my brother and my father, and they were going to take a while. So my mother was like, "Hey, instead of waiting, get an Uber and go to the courthouse. It's not that far." And I looked it up. To get there was like $15 with Uber. So I was like, I'm going to take an Uber. Took the Uber, and the guy that Ubered me there was pretty cool. He was a pretty chill guy. Can't remember his name, but he was really cool. We were talking, and he was asking me why I was going to the courthouse on a Sunday, and I told him. He was like, "Oh, wow, I didn't know the city of Dallas did that." And of course, I don't think he was from here because, he ended up telling me, like, this is what I like about this country sometimes. Like, you make mistakes in your life, and somehow, some way, there's a way to fix it with the most simple things. Like, I love the opportunities that they give, and not only in the city of Dallas and Texas, but in the United States, because it's so amazing. Like, man, they try to help the people out sometimes. I'm like, yeah, they do try. But this is where my day was like, it wasn't over being bad. It was just getting started. So I get to the courthouse, and I go in. The people are like, you gotta leave your donations in your car. You can't bring them in with you. I was like, I took an Uber, so I can't leave them in anybody's car. They're like, oh, okay, that's cool. Just take it with you. And I was like, okay, thank you. So I go in, go through the metal detectors, empty my pockets, all that stuff. They hand me a clipboard like, hey, this is your number. Once you're done filling it out, let us know. So I filled it out, and as soon as I finished, I told the guy I was walking by, I was like, hey, I finished. He goes, okay, cool, go to window 2. I was like, oh, okay. And when I got there wasn't that many people there. I think there was more security than anybody else. Like, there was more City of Dallas employees than anybody else that was there. And don't get me wrong, I was a little nervous to be there because I was like, man, what if they look up all these tickets and they're just like, we're just gonna arrest you? But they said in the ad, nobody with outstanding warrants and all that will be arrested. Those are being lifted and all that. That's what's being fixed. Like, they're completely helping you wipe out all that stuff. So I get my clipboard, go to the window, and gave the girl my ID, gave her the clipboard, gave her the paper, whatever, and she starts looking me up, like typing in my name, typing in my date of birth, my ID number, all that stuff. She goes, hey, are you sure you got tickets and stuff? I was like, yeah, I'm sure. I'm very sure. I was like, if you want, I can give you my driver's license number, if that helps. She goes, yeah, let's try that. So she looks up my driver's license number, and then she goes, I still don't see nothing here. In the back of my mind, I'm like, that's odd. I just saw all that the other day before deciding to come up here. She goes, are your tickets within the city of Dallas? I go, they're in Mesquite and Sunnyvale, which is Dallas County. She goes, oh, that's what it is. I was like, what do you mean? She goes, so you don't have no tickets in Dallas? Like, no. She's like, this program we're doing today is for the city of Dallas, not Dallas County. I was like, wow, okay. Like, dang, I guess I just that's completely on me. I'm not gonna blame her. I'm not gonna blame the ad. That's all on me. because I was like, oh wow, okay, that's cool. I can't do nothing about it. I'm not gonna sit there and argue. So I got my stuff, thanked her for her time, left, and there was this nice lady that was there. She was like, "What happened? You're not gonna do it?" I was like, "Oh, I don't have tickets in Dallas. I have them like, Mesquite, Sunnyvale, and Garland." And she was like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you want, we got the Department of Public Safety here as well. They can help you out to see what you can do or see which cities exactly you have them in." I'll go, you know what? I'm already here. I might as well hear her out. And she told me, like, the only tickets that are holding me back from my license are the cities that I named, Sunnyvale and Mesquite. And she said, if you were to fix that and pay the $100 reinstatement fee, your license is good. I was like, man. I was like, all right, now I know what I got to do. I thanked her. I left. I went on about my day, so I thought. But anyways, I left the courthouse, and I had to get another Uber back to where my car was. I did that, and while we were sitting there in the car and all that, or when I was Ubering back, I looked up the flyer, and sure enough, it said City of Dallas. And again, that's my fault. I saw Dallas. I didn't read if it was Dallas County. I didn't read if it was City of Dallas. I just saw Dallas tickets being resolved and all that. And you can't blame a guy. I jumped to conclusions. So, yeah. Ended up back at my car, waited for my brother and my father. They got there, but the location where we had got, stuck, I guess, was at the Anatole Hotel in Dallas. And we were like in one of their exits, or an exit/entrance, but it was a small street, so people coming in and out were having to go around us. And my brother, who's always in a mood, like he's always mad about something. I'm like, why are you so angry? Like, why? But I told him, I was like, hey, I think it'd be better if we move the car and get it to the closest tire shop that's open on a Sunday. He goes, you're gonna mess up your rim. I'm like, if I go slow and just go as straight as possible and try to not hit speed bumps and all that, we can get there, because the closest one was like 3 minutes from where we were at, and it said it was open on Sundays. It said 24 hours, and there was no number to call, but they said it was open, and I was like, okay, let's go to that one. And we did. We got there, they weren't open, so I found another one that was in the opposite direction of where we were at. And I said, I'm not gonna mess up my tire. We're in a place where no one's at. Let's just jack it up, take the tire off, go get the tire for me while I sit with the car, because I was not in the best neighborhood. So my dad and myself stayed with the car. After we took the tire off, my mother, sister-in-law, and my brother went to go get the tire. They came back, we put it on, and I was like, all right, I'm good. I'm leaving. I'm leaving this place. I'm going home. I'm tired. My head hurts. It's been a crazy day. But the whole time, I'm not going to lie to you, the whole time I was sitting there waiting for them to come back with this tire, I did notice quite a bit of homeless people in the area. I saw people walking around with their suitcases. Some people covered in a blanket, just walking, looking kind of miserable. And I told my mother and my father, I told my mom, I was like, what are we going to do with this blanket? Like when we were driving to the first tire shop, she's like, what we're doing, what are we gonna do with this blanket I got and this and that? She's like, you can just return it. I was like, yeah, I guess. But I didn't feel right returning it because I bought it for the intention to give it to someone, and I didn't really want to keep it because I already got enough blankets, right? So when I was leaving, my brother, my mother, my sister-in-law went in one car. Me, my father went in my car, and when I was driving, I saw someone sitting on the sidewalk, just sitting there with their head down, looking like they were asleep. And I was like, Dad, roll down the window. He was like, why? I pulled up next to the person that was on the sidewalk. I pulled up and I told them, like, come here. And they looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, come here. And they walked up to my car. I handed them the blanket. I said, here, keep this. This is yours. And it looked like she was about to start crying. She looked like she had tears in her eyes. And she was like, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate it. It was a young girl, probably around my age. And, I didn't have any water or nothing on me, but I had the blanket. I gave her the blanket. And, I was like, okay, I feel better because I gave the blanket to somebody. I really feel better now. The whole day might have been, crappy start, because by the time we got the tire back on and all that, it was about close to 10:45, 10:30ish. And myself, my father, after we gave her the blanket, we went home. But I was kind of frustrated. I spent money I didn't want to spend, and I just paid all my bills, and I was like, man, the last thing I needed was for my tire to go out, for me to spend money on Ubers and blankets I don't have money for and all that. But I'm glad I had the blanket and I gave it to someone. And I think my father was even in shock because, he was like looking at me like, you're just going to stop and give a blanket to somebody? Because, in my heart I was like, I have a blanket. It's kind of chilly outside still in the mornings and at night. And I'm in an area where people need that blanket. So, the man of God in me was like, give someone the blanket. I had that in my head. Someone needs this blanket. Give it away still. So I did. And sure enough, the day progressed. My sister had planned to cook out at her house, and we decided to go. She made chicken strips, like the big old chicken strips, and fries, and we made root beer floats and this and that. Like, I went, even though I was in a bad mood, I went, but I'm glad I went because my sister was really excited that everybody was at her house. My nieces were happy to have everybody. They were showing us, like, my niece was showing us like her project she's working on. She's like a real creative person, like my oldest niece. She was really excited to show us that she's getting into crocheting, I guess is what it's called. She was like showing us a blanket she's working on. She showed me a bag she had made, and yeah, it was a good day. It was good moments, and my sister and my nieces have been going through a lot. I don't know if I've told y'all. Some stuff has happened. My sister's husband is really not in the picture no more, and she's been having a tough time with everything. But to see her happy with, having her brothers, her mother, her nephew, her sister-in-law, and like everybody there. Like, my dad didn't go because my dad actually he's injured right now. He got hurt at work, so I'm thankful he got up yesterday and helped me with my tire. But I guess it took a little bit out of him because he got concussion and all that, and he's just like, oh, I can't really do this today. I can't, I'm tired. I can't. I'm like, all right. But he didn't go, but he would have. It was a good day. Towards the end, my sister was just happy. Of course, her and my brother were drinking. They were singing songs, and I was just sitting there singing with them and just having a good time, like getting involved with the party, but still not drinking and all that. I made a couple of jokes, like when they were sitting there crying and stuff. Like, my sister, she gets emotional with everything that's happening right now. So she was just getting emotional with all the stuff that's happening, letting her feelings out, letting it all out. And, so I was just like joking, like, man, like with all this emotion, I'm kind of wanting to drink now, making me want to drink my sorrows away. And my brother just started laughing. My sister heard, she's just busted out laughing. Like, we're just cracking jokes. That's what we do as siblings. We crack jokes on each other. We're not really ones to share our feelings, and if we do, it's mostly through jokes. And so, we just cracking jokes, singing, talking about stuff. My sister and my brother, my mother, everyone's over here talking about dual citizenships. Like, I'm a United States citizen, we're all United States citizens. But they're just like urging me, you should get your dual citizenship in Mexico as well. You should get your passport, you should get this, you should get that. I was like, you know what, I should, but I really don't have any plans to travel to Mexico and all that. Not because I don't want to go to Mexico. It's just like I have no plans to go to where my family in Mexico is, because they really don't talk to me. They don't ever really conversate with me. The only times they call my dad is if something bad happened or if they need something. So I really don't have a good, feeling towards them. I'm working on it. When they're here, when they come to visit, I talk to them and stuff. But other than that, we don't really have any engagement. But they were making good points before the alcohol kicked in, and I was like, you know what, I should get my passport, I should get my dual citizenship and all this and that. So I'm gonna start working on that part. I'm gonna get my long formed birth certificate, I guess the certified copy or something. I don't know what it's called, but I'm gonna get that, and of course, as soon as I get that, work on my my passport, and then of course after that, go to the consulate and get my work on my dual citizenship. I heard it's easier to become a citizen of Mexico than it is for them to become citizens here. But yeah, that was my day yesterday. I ended up going home about 11, fell asleep about 12, and yeah, I woke up super early yesterday too, about 6:30, just so I can get ready to go do all the courthouse stuff. My plan was to go knock that out, be out when I got out, because you know how court stuff is. But from what it looked like, they were moving pretty fast. So if I would have gotten there at the place where they had relocated it, then I probably would have gotten out before 9 o'clock if everything had worked out the way I thought. But it is what it is. Can't really take back anything from yesterday, but I guess it's like a lesson for me. Like, you're gonna have good days, you're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have a mixture of both in one. That's just God telling us, like, through me I can make this good or it can be bad. Like, God really blesses you when you're really truly seeking Him. He gives you way more good days than He'll give you bad. And I can tell you right now, I have more good days than I can count bad. Like, I have way more good days. Like, I wake up every day with a smile. I get to do a job I enjoy. I go home and I get to do more stuff that I enjoy, like streaming wrestling, talking wrestling. There's the days I get to be with my kids. I love those days. But I get to be with my family as well. Like, I get to enjoy days with my family most of all. And I get to read the Word of God. I get to do a lot of great things. And, you know, you can't take the good moments for granted. Because, you know, with the bad comes the good. And with the good, there's going to come bad. But that's all I got for this video today, guys. I know it was longer than usual. Like, this is a long video, but it was an interesting story. You know, it started off bad, worked its way to being a solid day. Can't complain about it. And it just shows you what God can truly do. But if you like this video, please give it a like down below. If you haven't done so already, please hit the follow button. It all helps out. We are on the road to 1K, so don't forget that. We are trying to get to that 1K within this year, and God willing, maybe we'll get to that 2K. But first, I'm about to break. We're about to break 100, because right now we're at like 90 something. We were like at 80 for the longest time, and just over the weekend we hit over 90 something people, which is awesome. Please hit that button down below, help the channel out, and as always, until next time, guys, you stay safe, God bless, and peace.